Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, April the 10th. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. Let's take a look at the ES first. We are starting a brand new week. This week, we've got a couple of things. Nothing really going on today from a scheduled economic report. We are going to have earnings start to trickle through as earnings season begins. 10 o'clock gives us wholesale inventories. We had the first crack in the employment numbers last week. A lot of folks are saying, hey, listen, the Fed's going to have to pump the brakes, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? They've been wrong for about 18 months. So we'll just see what the Fed has to say on everything. Tuesday, April 11th, we've got an optimism index, Chicago Fed, Philly Fed presidents, Minneapolis Fed presidents, all speaking. They're going to move the markets up and down. And then Wednesday's the big day. We have Consumer Price Index, core CPI year over year. Just that's going to be a big number, right? So in the meantime, I think the traders are going to try and figure out a little bit about positioning themselves. My suspicion is that I feel like the market has moved way ahead of its skis. But it doesn't really matter what I think. What we have to do is, based on what we see, what do we anticipate next? So here we are. This is, oh, for heaven's sakes, let's change this. This is last week. What's the high? 40, 71, 50, somewhere around there. And then the low is down here at 40.96. Okay, so right around there. And we are approaching that low. Now, my suspicion is that we are sideways grinding. We should pull back and then bounce. Overall, I think we are still trapped in this very big space. 41.2275, a big number to watch. If we get up and over that edge, we are going to start to move a little bit higher. The next line in the sand is actually 41.10, which is where we are sitting right now. And then below that, 4,100. If we are taking a look at the big numbers and heavy congestion, we easily could move into 40.77, 40.75. So what's the trade for today? Well, if we look at the last two candles and the one in play, we are approaching the base low of 2 days prior, or actually it would be 3 days prior. That's going to give us our support wedge. So into 40.95 or so, traders are going to start to argue and look for a specific support. It could stretch down into that 40.77, 40.80, yes. And so those areas are going to be where I suspect buyers come in to really sort of push the envelope. At the top end of the range, again, I mentioned above 41.22, you're going to see buyers battle to get us back up to the 40.40. Statistically speaking, because of trend, the pullbacks are going to be buy zones. And so we are likely to see a wick of some kind during the day as the markets seek out the value areas below. So that's what we're looking for. Sideways pressure coming into support, bouncing, and heading back into relative congestion, with the anchor point being 41.2275. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. The NQ has been battered a bit. It's pulling in inside of the prior month's regions, and last week it had a negative week, unlike the ES that had a positive week, and it is also drifting to the low of the week prior. And so this is going to give us a test of somewhere around 12,950-ish, with a potential knee jerk, maybe into 12,875. That's where the buying pressure is going to heat up. And then once it's past that, the top of the edge looks like about 13,200. Let's put a line there to tell us that that's where we see a number of sellers, right there around that 13,191. So what's the trade? Sideways retracement coming down into 12,950. We might see buyers there. If we lose that level and then recapture it, yes, it's going to be a buy zone. into this 13,100 and potentially 13,200, but I'm not sure how many days it's going to take to do that. Going to SPY, which is where we have a great deal of interest, we see that currently the SPY is sitting inside of last month's range, and definitely inside of last week's range. We're down here at 406.82. What number do I think is critical? 405. As a matter of fact, that's a pin for the expiring options at this point coming in on the 21st of April. So there's going to be 2 weeks of motion right around this chop, in my mind, based on what the options flow is telling us. So we'll have to see what that 405 does. Where are we right now in terms of the last two candlesticks? We are beneath the open of the low candlestick at the 407.20 area. We're fleshing out the 405.70 area. In my mind, I suspect we fade there, come into the 405, bounce, and then try to find that maximum pain zone. This is going to be great for us as we move closer into expiration, but if we bounce again into the zone and get back up over 409, I'm going to triage our short call spread that is sitting there right now. Again, the trade, I believe, is sideways. We are in a negative value finding area, so the bounces should be sells into the base. Once we get to the 405 area where everybody's pinning on that month, we should see buyers come in and pop us up into the 408.90 area, 409 area. So that's really what we're looking at right there. From the Qs, same sort of thing, inside of the prior month, inside of the prior week, coming into the baseline event. Where's the bottom of that? 312.80, could be all the way down to 310. You know how aggressive the the Qs can get on the fade. I do not know where the pin is there, but I will find it and I'll put it up in tomorrow's formation for us. We'll pour it down into that perspective right there. 310 is the base. It loses that edge. You want to watch it recapture before you can go long. But at this juncture, it's really struggling to hold that 315. Buyers are going to try and come in and hold this base. My suspicion is they're not going to have a very good shot at it because I suspect the pin is a bit lower. Okay, so if indeed we do bounce, that number is going to be into 318 on the top edge. Where we're battling right now is 315. That's a 50-50 shot. Dips that bounce off 312, going to give you your long action. Good luck trading today. Probably going to be a little bit messy. And we've got thin volume because most of European markets are closed because they take Easter Monday, not Good Friday. See you tomorrow.